What is going on, guys? It is Jamie. Welcome to the channel Thrift on Fire. On today's video, we're going to be talking about selling on eBay in 2022 and what you need to get started. Now, the first thing you need to get started, obviously, is an eBay account. If you already have one, whether it's a .ca or .com, it doesn't really matter. You should probably keep that account, unless for some reason you have bad feedback or a bad experience in general with that account. You want to have an account that has some establishment, even if it's not selling stuff on eBay, even if you've just been buying things on eBay, you're still going to probably have some feedback, and that is important when starting out. Now that we're on eBay, we need to figure out what we're going to sell. The easiest way to do this probably is just look around your house for things you aren't using, like old video games, old electronics like camcorders or old cameras, things like that. Even cool vintage t-shirts like this one here. Whatever you want to sell is totally fine. The other thing you could do, you could source from thrift stores, garage sales, estate sales. But if you don't want to spend any money or don't want to spend any new money, definitely looking around the house for things you already have that you're willing to sell is a good idea. One thing really important about selling on eBay is sell-through rate. Now, what is that? So if you look up an item and you look to see sold and completed, I'll throw it up on the screen right now on a screenshot just so you can see what I'm talking about if you're not familiar with the app. Basically what you're looking to see is how many have sold in the last 90 days. And what you want to do is compare that to how many's listed. So ideally what you want is if there's 10 listed, you want to see 20 sold. If there's 10 listed and 10 sold, that's still good. If there's 10 listed and 0 sold or 1 sold, that's not so good. So that's what sell-through rate is. So the higher the sell-through rate, the better chances you are to sell the item. So if you have an item that comes up with maybe 3 listed and 30 sold, you're gonna list that item and it's gonna sell right away. But that's a totally another video. It doesn't really matter if you're selling good stuff around your house that you just pick up, that's totally fine. And on eBay, we're just trying to get started. So, let's just get the ball rolling. When you're new on eBay, you may need to give some pretty good deals to get sales. Now, why is this the case? Well, you don't have any feedback, so you don't have any establishment with eBay or trust with buyers. So people can't go and look and say, hey, this guy sells stuff all the time. Everybody loves him. It's great. So in that case, if I'm selling whatever, let's say I'm selling this Yeti and it's they're listed for $50. I might have to list mine for $45, just under everybody a little bit, for people to pay attention to this. Now, it's not a good idea to do that all the time, but when you're starting out, you might have to give deals like that just to get people to take a chance on you. And when you're talking about an item from probably $5 to maybe $50, people will take a chance on you. If we're talking about, $1,000 sale and you put it down to like $980 and you have no feedback, no real traction on eBay, no one's gonna buy anything from you. So you kind of got to keep what you're selling realistic at first. If you're brand new to eBay, you're not going to sell a $1,000 video projector on eBay. Most likely, if you're a new seller, you need to have some establishment to get there. So now that we've found some items to list around our house, we need to take really good pictures. Now, what does that mean? So if I'm selling these earbuds, they're in the case, obviously, so this is a bad example, but still, you want to take 1, 2, 3, 4 pictures of all sides. I would take a picture of the bottom under this little flap. I swear there's a port, and you want a picture of the top. And then if there are any defects, if there was like a big gouge or scrape or something in this, you would make sure that you could see that in the picture. So basically you want to take honest pictures of all sides of your object, and you're going to list basically any defects or any blemishes on the item so that you can't get what we're all trying to avoid on eBay is item not as described. So you ship this out, the buyer gets it, they're like, hey, you didn't tell me there was a big scrape in the front of this. You actually hid it in your pictures. We don't want to do that. We just want to be honest. People usually don't mind defects. When you're talking about eBay, you're talking about used items. It's almost like a giant flea market. So people aren't expecting everything to be brand new and perfect. They're actually coming to eBay for a deal. So basically being honest is the best thing you can do with your pictures. So now that we have some really great pictures, we need a really great title. Now, what are the most important things in the title? In my opinion, there are 4 things that have to be in there. And if you fit these 4 things in there, you still have space, you can add anything else you desire. But most important things would be the brand, what you're selling, who it's for, and size. So brand, if we're talking about a pair of Nikes, we'll just say these are Nikes, right? A pair of Nikes. What are they? They're shoes. Who are they for? They're for men or women or kids, whoever they're designed for. And the size, well, you would look up the size tag inside. So it might be US size men's 10 shoes, whatever it happens to be, right? So in your title, the most important things are definitely brand, what you're selling, who's it for, and size. So if you can keep those 4 things in your listing, I promise you'll have a good time getting people to look at your items, at least in eBay. So when it comes to filling out item specifics, there's a minimum amount that is required, but you want to fill it as much as you possibly can. And it's going to help with your search within eBay and even outside of eBay within Google. So if somebody searches for a pair of white Nike, whatever model number, size 10, you will come up in that search. Even if it's not sized that way, the more information you put up, the more likely you're going to come up in the search. So the more you can add to that, the better. I wouldn't say spending hours researching so you can fill in every line, but I would say take an extra couple minutes to figure out if there's any more you can add or how hard it would actually be to figure out some of these specifics. Now I can do a whole video on shipping. So this video is not about how to ship, it's about how to price your shipping. And in my opinion, there are 2 basic ways that you can go about doing this. Me personally, most items, unless we're talking about something bigger and heavier, I use flat rate shipping. So anywhere in Canada, if I sell a pair of shoes or t-shirts or small electronics or something about this size and not that heavy. By not that heavy, I mean probably under a couple pounds. I just charge $15 flat rate shipping everywhere in Canada. And when it's a little bit larger item, I usually charge about $20. Now that's flat rate shipping, okay? In the US, for the same $15 item, I usually charge a flat rate of $20. I don't sell personally internationally anymore. I used to sell all around the world. Now I just sell in Canada and the US because it's much simpler for me. I might go back to selling around the world later on if shipping becomes a little less expensive, but that's not very likely. So for me personally, I just sell in Canada and the US. For the US, for like a t-shirt or shoes, I charge a flat rate of $20. And then for larger items, I think I charge $25 shipping. Okay, so that's one way to do it. The other way you would do it is you could take, so if I was gonna sell this iPhone here, you could take the dimensions of the packaging, you're gonna slide this in, and then you're gonna just measure the packaging, length, width, and the height, and you're gonna enter that into eBay, into the shipping matrix, and then you're gonna weigh your item with the packaging, and what it's gonna do, it's gonna give you an estimate, or it's not gonna give you an estimate, it's gonna give the buyer an estimate. So you have your location set, and if somebody, so I'm in Ontario, Canada, if somebody in Florida is trying to buy this iPhone, it's gonna calculate based off the dimensions and weight you gave, how much Canada Post would charge for Ontario to Florida. And it's just an estimate, it could be off. And if you do have a small business solutions card from Canada, which is free, and I do have another video where I talk about that, but it's just essentially a discount card you get for free from Canada Post for shipping, for small businesses. And eBay is part of that. So if you want to get one, all you have to do is go into Canada Post and sign up, or I think you can sign up online as well. It's definitely worth it. You get big discounts. But anyway, those are the 2 options. So basically, you're going to do either flat rate shipping, or you're going to do calculated shipping. So it's going to kind of give you and the buyer an estimate. The problem with that, I suppose, if your weight or something was inaccurate and you had to pay more money, I don't believe you can charge the buyer more money. You could probably reach out to him and say, hey, this costs more than I thought it was going to cost, but I think you're technically on the hook for it. And for me personally, flat rate shipping has worked fine, and you know, it's definitely a personal decision on how you choose to ship in your business. I believe on the eBay website, they say a new seller can sell up to 50 listings. I think honestly, they limit you to 10 until you make your first sale and maybe even your second sale. And then you can either contact eBay by phone, which is very difficult to do, or you can send them an email and just ask for an increase. And as long as you are listing good items, and you've got good feedback and your shipping and everything looks good, they're usually more than happy to bump up those numbers. So that's the first thing you're gonna do. You're gonna start with 10 listings, so probably don't list 10 pairs of shoelaces for $1 a piece or something like that. You wanna list some pretty good items, you know, like I said, nice quality things you find around your house, or nice thrifted items, or yard sale found items, whatever it happens to be. You're gonna wanna make sure to be careful especially in the first 10. You want stuff that's going to sell. Okay, so list every day. Now I know that's a little tricky because we just talked about the limitation. So maybe when you're just starting, maybe you're gonna list 2 items every day, and then if you make some sales before you hit your listing ceiling of 10, you're gonna basically contact eBay and say, hey, can we lift this up? I'm really serious about selling on eBay and I wanna have an opportunity to list more. More than likely, they will grant you more listings. The next thing is you're gonna send offers to buyers. So when you have watchers, which means people are interested in your item, it means it gives you the opportunity to send them offers. Now it's different than having you, in your listing, you can have best offer on where people can send you offers, but that's a totally different thing. This is people who are watching your item and you can send them exclusive offers on the item. So definitely do that. Sometimes you'll get people who will lowball you back, but instead of declining that, what you want to do is just send an offer again. Even if it's the exact same offer, whatever it is, don't decline the offer because you want to keep activity and eyes. When there's more eyes and more activity on your listing, it pushes it up in the eBay search and algorithm, and it's definitely a really, really good thing. Next thing we want to do is answer all questions. Some questions seem a little silly. I don't know how many times when I have a t-shirt like this listed, people ask me for the length or pit to pit, right? It's usually in the listing. I usually measure, and if you looked at all my pictures, you would see it in there. But instead of saying, hey guy, just look at the pictures, I just look at the pictures myself and send them whatever it happens to be. So answer all questions, even if they do seem silly or obvious. You know, if somebody's asking a question, it's because they want an answer. So definitely do that. It will help with sales. All right, let's talk about scammers for a minute. Of course, nobody likes to think about scammers or how it's going to affect your business, but they're out there and it's definitely a real thing. So you're looking for zero feedback buyers. Now, does that mean everybody has to start at zero? So does that mean everybody with a zero is a scammer? Absolutely not. But if they're usually asking to maybe pay you extra money for the item, that's a red flag. If they're maybe asking you to ship to a different address, maybe they're a drop shipper, but it also goes against eBay policy, so you can get yourself in trouble there. And then any sort of protection you have from eBay is no longer valid because you didn't ship it to their original address. So yeah, there's a lot of red flags right there. Like I said, the biggest one though tends to be they try to ask to pay more money or offer more money than you have it listed for, or you know, you're probably never gonna get scammed on like a $10 DVD sale, but you probably might get an attempt at a scam at like a $100 vintage shirt or a $200 video game console or something like that. So you definitely have to be careful. You're gonna wanna make sure the person has good feedback, that their shipping address is the same as their address. And yeah, I mean, there's some things you can do. So just definitely be aware that scammers are out there. Now, in my opinion, the most important thing about eBay is building your feedback. Building your feedback is basically like building your reputation on eBay. And the more feedback you have and the more positive feedback you have just shows that you're a good seller and that you're in it for, maybe not in it for the right reasons. We're all in it to make a little bit of money, but you're not in it to scam people and sell them junk, basically, right? And once you get the ball rolling and you know, you can list as much as you potentially want, you know, you're gonna wanna list 5 things every day, minimum. All right, thanks so much for watching, guys. If you're new to the channel, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Till next time, take care, stay safe, we'll see you soon, bye-bye.